Hi, everybody. I'm Nicole Pollard. I'm the photography teacher at Northridge Academy High School, and I posted the Staple City project that my students completed today. So I noticed a lot of people were asking how we did that, where we added the generative fill and sort of a cooler background than the typical Staple City. So I thought I would show you as best as I can. I'm not a pro. I will admit that I'm self-taught, so I'm constantly madly Googling how to do this, how to do that. I watch endless YouTube videos. So bear with me, have a little grace. And I always tell my students there's like 100 ways to skin a cat. So if you know an easier way to do this, cool for you. You do you, boo. This is how I did and how I sort of taught my students. So I'll just run you through really quickly how we did this. Share my screen. I'm doing this on Zoom, so I hope it's clear enough. This is just a photo that I found online real quick. I don't have any of my students' work on my home computer, but my students set up staples. We found that industrial staples worked really well. I heard that glue dots helped them stay up. We did not use glue dots. What we did was we took the staples, and if you take one row of staples and another row and sort of put them together, they lean against each other and they stood up that way really well. We set them up in front of a green backdrop. I kind of wanted that chroma key green backdrop to help us be able to remove background a little bit easier in Photoshop. Basically, that's all we did. We set them up in front of a green backdrop. They shot with their regular Canon Rebels. And I did have them use the flashlight on their phone. And basically, they would shine it different directions. And in my head, that was going to help them envision moonlight and sunlight. And it did actually just give our photos a little bit more dimension. So I would definitely recommend allowing them to use the phones, their lights on their phones or flashlights if you are of a school with no phones. And congratulations. I wish my kids were like that. So anyway, imagine that we took this photo here, uploaded into Photoshop with your contextual taskbar open, which is right here. You should be able to click on remove background. A lot of students will say, Miss, I don't see that bar anywhere. If you don't see it, come up here to Windows, make sure contextual taskbar has a check mark next to it. And so their instinct is going to be to just click remove background. They may or may not get a good result. Some students had remove background cut it out perfectly. Other students didn't. So sure, that would be route one, clicking remove background. I'm going to tell you what I think is a little bit better. I think clicking select subject is a better idea than coming over here to the quick selection tool and using that quick selection tool to select manually the staples. Remove background just doesn't always do the job. If you have an updated version of Photoshop, I'm looking on my other computer because I do have an updated version. The selection brush tool is an even better tool. But I'm going to go in with that quick selection tool, and I'm just going to do a better job of selecting my buildings. Again, bear with me. I'm not a pro. I do not admit to being a pro. um, I do hold down the option key, and that just makes it subtract instead of add the lasso. So if you kind of want to do a really good job, you can hold down that option key and it goes from adding a selection to subtracting a selection. And that's a fairly decent job. Then we go ahead and we invert the selection right here. And then with this contextual taskbar open again, where it says generative fill, you can basically have the students come up with whatever they want. I could write night sky with stars and moon and just see what happens. Click generate and let Photoshop do its thing. So this would be the easiest thing to do. And again, they can just go through. Maybe they want to, that looks crazy. Maybe they just want to start with something like this. And this would be acceptable for me. I'd say, cool, this is a good canvas for you to add to. then they can go ahead and they can even add other portable network graphics from sites like PNG AAA or VecDeasy. So once you have something like this, let's see, I'm gonna make sure I'm sharing the right screen. I don't know if I am. I would use elements from PNG AAA. PNGAAA.com is really great. I'm gonna truly, if they wanted to add Spider-Man, I guess it's okay, but man, I got a lot of Spider-Man. I was super annoyed by the end of the day. Um, I'll grab the Spider-Man. Gonna download Spider-Man. Takes a second, sorry. There we go. Spider-Man's downloaded. And then I can go ahead and I can add Spider-Man. So file, place embedded, and I'm gonna add Spider-Man. And PNG AAA is a really great site. It has a lot of copyrighted PNGs. I'm not sure how they get away with that, but it works in our favor. Put them like this. If you want to get nitpicky, you can ask your students to add an adjustment layer, which I would do. I would say the lighting doesn't quite match, add an adjustment layer. You can do what you want, but this is essentially how we did our stable city, just removing the background, adding gen fill. You can also add whatever background you find. If you wanted to add an element rather than using gen fill, that would work as well. So hopefully that helped. Yeah, that's all I've got. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. My email is Nicole, Nicole dot Pollard, Pollard at lausd.net. But that's all. I have a little YouTube channel. I can post that too, but it's just for my kids. And again, I kind of suck at this. I'm getting better, but I'm on the struggle bus with all of you. Toot toot. But thank you.